Welcome to How to Succeed in ECE Without Really Trying. I'm Dr. Linda DeBrunner, and here's an op-amp example where I'm doing the analysis using the values of the components plugged in early. Here's a simple circuit, a couple of capacitors and a resistor, and we're going to follow the same procedure we normally follow, right? Which was to remember that IN is equal to 0, so that's the currents going into each of those terminals is equal to 0. We also know V minus is equal to V plus for negative feedback, which we have. And then we want to use nodal analysis at the op-amp flip-flop for op-amp inputs. So this time I want to do something a little different. I'm going to plug in the values as I go, just so you can see what that's like. Again, we're going to start with V plus, and we can read very straightforwardly that V plus is ground, so that's 0. Then we'll do a nodal equation at the minus terminal. We have V minus minus Vn over the series combination of 1000, which is the resistor, plus 1 over S times 0.001. So that's V minus minus Vn over R plus 1 over Sc. And then we have this voltage minus this voltage over 1 over SCF. So that'll be V minus minus V out over 1 over S times 0.001, okay? Plus the 0 going into the terminal will get equal to 0, okay? So just to recap, this voltage minus this voltage over this series combination, this voltage minus this voltage over that value, plus that 0 is equal to 0. Now, one reason I sometimes don't like to do it this way is because if we have the same value repeated, it can be a little bit confusing to students. But sometimes I think it's easier to plug in the values as you go. So I wanted to give you that option. So what we'll do is we have to remember, of course, that since V plus is equal to 0, V plus is equal to V minus, so that will be equal to 0 as well. So this will allow us to get, we will plug in 0 for V plus and V minus and multiply through by minus 1. And we'll end up with Vn over 1000 plus 1 over S times 0.001 plus V out over 1 over 0 S times 0.001 equal to 0. And that will give us the equation we have right here, as long as we remember that 10 to the minus 3, which is what that is, 10 to the minus 3 is now, that's the same as saying 1000 over S, right? So that gives us this equation right here. We still have S's in the denominator, which we should probably clear first. And so I'm going to multiply. I'm going to first find V out relative to Vn. Okay, so we're going to solve this equation we'll separate the terms for V out and for Vn, take the ratio of V out to Vn, and we end up with this part right here. To get rid of the S denominators, we're going to multiply through by S over S. That'll give us 1000 over 1000 plus S 1000. And of course, we have a minus sign. We can divide through the top and the bottom by 1000, and we get minus 1 over S plus 1.